Tonight on the Rundown, we'll talk Oscar winners and snubs, plus anonymous voters are giving moviegoers an inside look into the voting process. Ciara's clapping back at her haters. Roach is retiring. DIddy wants to buy BET. I have some thoughts on this stupid witch hunt disguised as a documentary regarding Jussie Smollett's Hoax case, and a whole lot more on The Rundown with your host, Chris Avalon.
Oh, how you doing? Hey y'all, and welcome to The Rundown. It's your boy Chris Avalon. Hi. Anyway, let me stop being silly. Yes, welcome to The Rundown, the sassiest and messiest talk show currently on the good old internet. Now, for those of y'all who are tuning in, ooh, look at these pictures and things. This is so cute. With the little Chris Avalon TV, it feels a little retro and things. But anyway, let me read this thing that I have on my teleprompter because I wrote it. The Rundown is basically a show where I break down the juiciest headlines in entertainment and pop culture. So, because this is a 2-hour show, child, might be a little shorter depending, but I can run my mouth for 2 hours. So, grab yourselves a drink, a snack, a blunt, some heroin. I don't know, whatever fixes your fancy. No, don't do the heroin because y'all start nodding off. Don't do the meth because that make your ass go crazy. Okay, and let's get into this good old gig, okay? And shout out to FSM. The theme song that we always use is Paradox. Okay, so now before we get into this week's tea, do not forget, please do yourselves a favor and smash that like button as well as the good old subscribe button so you can help with this good old algorithm, and be sure to follow all my social media platforms, which you can see right here. I also want to thank all the new people that subscribed to this channel this week. I got quite a few new subscribers, so thank you. I also want to thank those of you who watch, who have been helping get my numbers up with on YouTube, because I've been posting my TikTok videos and stuff here. Also on TikTok, I'm doing really well too. So thank you for following me over there. Thank you for following me on all my social media platforms. And thank you for leaving your comments and stuff on there, on a lot of stuff that I'm doing, because, I really, 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 really appreciate it. And I appreciate you all because, I've been working hard on this, here program, and on putting all this content and stuff together, along with my producer, EJ Parker. We've been doing this for going on 3 years. For those of you who probably aren't aware, I've been doing this for a long time, almost 20 damn years, in other, different forms, with my radio show, I have my website, started out doing it on Blogspot, and then I have my website, and I stopped using the website, and now I got the website back. So I just been kind of going through these iterations of, stuff throughout almost 20 years of my career. But it all comes full circle because, the main thing I've always been doing, I'm stuck with it. So I just want to appreciate those of you who've been there for the beginning and all the newbies. Love you all as well. So, we work hard to put a lot of this stuff on this show together. So for those of you who are tuning in, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate all of you. You have no idea. So we have a lot of topics that we're going to be getting to today. We got a lot of Oscars talk. We also got some tea regarding some of the Academy voters who were speaking out on how the whole voting process is. And child, I gagged over some of the stuff I read, but we're going to go through it. We're also going to talk about Roach retiring from the fashion industry. He did an exclusive interview with New York Magazine, which I did post in the article that I actually wrote on it. I actually added that before we started on the show because I was literally watching it before we went live. So I had to finish it. I only got 10 minutes in, but he was giving a lot of juicy stuff, and we'll talk about that. Also, we got some tea on Legendary, and some of the Ballroom girls is calling out Drag Race for mocking Ballroom. I got some thoughts on that. There's been a huge debate. I've seen a lot of y'all have read the article on my website, chrisatwan.com. Thank you for that. But also, I've noticed that a lot of people have, I posted this debate on my social media platforms, and a lot of people had a lot to say on it. So we're definitely gonna break that down. Plus, I'm gonna give my thoughts on DIddy, and he's the one who's he wants to throw his cap in the ring to see, about purchasing BET. He already got Revolt. There's other people that are throwing their hat in the ring in regards of BET. I'll give my thoughts on that. Also, we got a lot of stuff. Tyra, Whoopi, Lil Nas X apologizing. It's a lot of stuff going on. And Jussie Smollett. There's a documentary that came out this week on that damn Fox Nation Network and Foxhole. And I got some thoughts on that as well. I don't know why we still talking about Jussie Smollett. I thought we moved on, but apparently some of y'all haven't. But I have thoughts on that as well. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into this gig, okay? So, the Oscars happened this past Sunday. I'm not going to hold y'all, but I actually did not watch the Oscars until yesterday. I watched the Oscars yesterday. As I was putting the topics together, I actually had it on the background. I glanced up. Even I already know who won because I watched all the highlights on YouTube. I saw people talking about who won and this and the third, and everybody was upset over Angela Bassett. Yeah, I got some thoughts on that too. But my opinion basically on, so first things first. I did watch the Oscars. I thought it was okay. Jimmy Kimmel was typical Jimmy Kimmel. It was like, I find that stuff funny. But, now we're in the era that everybody feelings. You got to watch it. You can't make too bad of a joke or whatever, because then people will get mad. So you got to tread lightly with the jokes. I can remember one joke Jimmy Kimmel said. I didn't think it was cute when he brought the donkey out, though. And then we had, oh my God, the director of Cocaine Bear brought out the bear. Speaking of which, I think Cocaine Bear is about to come on one of the streaming services soon. I also heard that A Knock at the Cabin is coming on Peacock. I tell you don't even need to go to movies these days because movies be out in like a week. But anyway, so the Super Bowl of Cinema, aka the 95th Annual Academy Awards, finally happened. And as I suspected, Everything Everywhere All at Once cleaned up in most of the major categories, taking home 7 out of 11 trophies, including Best Picture, Best Direction for the Daniels. That would be Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Best Supporting Actor for Ke Huy Quan, Best Actress for Michelle Yeoh, and Best Supporting Actress for Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, I did cry when Ke Huy Quan won, because, I've been a fan of Ke Huy Quan since the beginning. I loved him as Data in The Goonies. Booty Traps, remember that? That's what I said, Booty Trap. That was my favorite, he was my favorite in the movie, among all of them. I love that movie. Like, I can't tell you how many times growing up, I watched The Goonies. Even in my adult years, every time I put The Goonies on, it gives me a smile. Puts a smile on my face. And I loved him in Short Round in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And it was cute that it was all full circle because Harrison Ford was there. He presented Best Picture. He gave Ke Huy Quan a hug on stage. Then you had Steven Spielberg in the audience, who was nominated for the Fablemans, which I don't think won anything, as far as I remember, in regards to like the major categories. And his wife Kate Capshaw was there, who was also in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So it's funny how like all those people was a part of that, were kind of like were in the theater at that time. But it was great to see Key win. People did make little comments about where he said that he lived in a refugee camp, and they started bringing up the politics in regards of like what happened with America and his country and a lot of the stuff that was going on with it. I'm not touching it. I'm not getting into it and it's funny how people said there was no political stuff that happened in there. I feel like the way people voted, there was some politics. You can see how the way people vote, the political aspect of, okay, so you're voting for the documentary thing because y'all care about the environment, and you vote. So there were people didn't literally get up on stage and make political statements, but you could tell based off of what was winning, where Hollywood leans politically based on the votes. So now, speaking of Best Supporting Actress, Marvel fans got their tits in a twist, and Angela Bassett fans, when Angela Bassett didn't do the thing and lost the Oscar to Curtis, with some even saying that Jamie didn't deserve her win. Well, quiet as it's kept, I don't know what movie y'all was watching, but Jamie Lee was phenomenal in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I thought if it wasn't going to be Angela Bassett, I thought Stephanie Hsu, who was also in the same film, and also nominated for, so that was another thing that got me too. Why did y'all have two of the same people from the same film nominated in the same category? That didn't sit right with me, but whatever. Oscars, 9 times out of 10, y'all don't get shit right anyway. So, and people was mad at Angela Bassett for not applauding and standing up. She stood up when Miss Ruth won for costume design because she was part of Black Panther. So why not? Ruth Carter, I think that was her second win. Them costumes was everything in that damn movie. But look, Angela was a standout as Queen Ramonda. We all know she should have won for playing Miss Tina Turner, and What's Love Got to Do with It. And it's funny how, like, it showed that, we don't really get into the whole Hollywood thing of we have to win and this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 so on and so forth. But it clearly showed in your behavior you wanted to win. But I like the fact that she gave a natural feeling about not getting an Oscar, because everybody was telling her, oh, you a lock, you a shoo-in, you definitely gonna get it, until I think the SAG Awards came around and Jamie Lee Curtis won a SAG Award, which is voted on by her peers. So that kind of, they'll usually say when it comes to the SAG Awards, that's a prelude to who's gonna probably win for the Oscars. Angela Bassett was winning everything else, but she ain't getting no SAG Award. So that probably was foreshadowing. We just wasn't paying attention. But what irritated me was that people was out here saying, oh, Angela Bassett was robbed. She deserved that award, and da. So, which I agree with. There's a lot of people I wish would get awards, and Hollywood gets it wrong all the damn time. But what irks me is that people who didn't see Everything Everywhere All at Once are saying that someone else didn't deserve the award. I think a lot of times y'all put way too much into these damn award shows. Anyway, I wish there wasn't so much value in it, but when you hear a speech like Michelle Yeoh that she gave, it kind of shows why, on the other hand, the Oscars are so important. Unfortunately, people of color have to rely on these awards because that's the most prestigious award. Now, only time will tell. But I have heard that Ke Huy Quan has been getting a lot of roles. He's going to be in a couple of Marvel projects, I believe. He's been working as a stuntman behind the scenes over the year just so he could stay in the business. But there was no work and no offers. And it doesn't make sense to me in 95 years of Hollywood, 100 years of Hollywood existing, 95 years of the Oscars, we still haven't progressed. That's what I don't get. I don't understand why am I having connection issues when I got this damn cord plugged in, so I should not be having no issues. But anyway, now moving on from that, So I was happy that Michelle Yeoh won. I was hoping and praying she was gonna win, but I think I pretty much do. I like the best. I actually like when they do the best original song stuff. Rihanna sounded okay, but Rihanna was giving you Rihanna. Flat vocals, standing there, looked like she was bored. First of all, that song is boring. I kind of wish they would have did something more upbeat, because don't in like African or Black culture, when you die, it's supposed to be like a celebration. Well, I know that's what they do in New Orleans. I kind of wish it would have more of an upbeat, like lift me up, hold it down. Like, you sound like, bitch, just put me out of my fucking misery with this goddamn song. I hate that. I was like, oh, this song is just for the movie, whatever. Child, that song is literally like melatonin for the goddamn ears. And that's no shade, I'm just saying. But look, at least I'm admitting it, because a lot of y'all was talking about how much y'all didn't like the damn song, but whatever. So let's talk about the song that did win. So Natu. I did love that song. I love the performance. But I know it was so much drama surrounding the actual Natu performance at the Oscars. Because we're going to talk about it. So the creators behind the song were upset with the Academy for not featuring any South Asian dancers on stage. Now I noticed a lot of the dancers. A lot of the dancers are from this show called So You Think You Can Dance. Because I noticed Alex Wong up there and a couple of others. I think if Twitch was allowed, they probably would have had him up in there. So South Asian creators were critical of the performance on social media, slamming the Academy for having non-Indian duo Tabitha and Napoleon Dumo, aka Nappy Tabs, who have worked on So You Think You Can Dance. They also do choreography for Jennifer Lopez, or I think Tabitha Dumo does. So Nappy Tabs choreographed, directed, and cast the performance, as well as oversaw costume and set design. Now, for those who haven't seen the movie, Telugu actors N.T. Ramarao Jr., who also goes by JR&TR, and Ram Charan, who were, by the way, not at the Oscars, because I thought that was them up there. I've been meaning to get around to watching, RRR, as I call it, Triple R. I've been meaning to get around to watching it. I know it's on Netflix, but that 3-hour number is like, child, I'm allergic to the, 3 hours, whatever. The only thing I would watch that was 3 hours, that's 3 hours damn near, was the Batman. I've watched that like 4 times already. Lord of the Rings and John Wick Chapter 4, which is about to come out this week. I'm going to see it Thursday, and I'm going to see it Saturday with my friends. I'm going to see it by myself on opening night. And I'll do a quick overall review on my TikTok. Speaking of which, sidebar, shout out to Lance Reddick, who passed away yesterday. He's in the movie. He plays Sharon, the concierge at the Continental in New York. I was shocked when I heard that he passed. So I just wanted to, do that really quick. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was natural causes. He was 60 years old. We'll find out more, when they bring it up. But damn, I'm like, was that his final? Well, it couldn't have been his final film, because I heard he's in the Ballerina also, Ana de Armas, which is a spinoff of the John Wick film, the John Wick franchise. So we'll see him again or whatever. But, I've loved Lance Reddick. He was in Oz. He was in, a bunch of shows. Fringe. Everything he's been in, I pretty much liked. Anyway, let's get back to the Oscars. I just want to do that little side situation. So, the two that I mentioned, excuse me, JR&TR and Ram Charan, I actually thought that was them on the stage performing, because I haven't seen the movie yet. I've been meaning to get around to it, but like I said, it's 3 hours long. I know I need a lot of patience. I need a lot of time. And I like a lot of Bollywood stuff. Like, I always love watching like Bollywood dancing and all other stuff. That always gets me up and going. I'm like, oh yeah. Because me working at AMC back in the day, that music used to be so damn loud when we would show those things. And the South Asian community, like the Asian community, whenever they get movies and we would show it at the AMC in Times Square, they come out in droves. Like, they come out and really support their films. So I never understand why American markets don't really capitalize on the Asian market and the South Asian market and incorporate them more in American films, because you will make so much money with this community if you show the representation the right way, which clearly they didn't do at the Oscars. So the two actors that's originally in the film were not at were not performing on stage because they had prior commitments and didn't have enough time to rehearse for the performance. So the two actors that's actually in the movie, if you don't know what it's about, they dance in front of Caucasian British colonists who say that the two are not sophisticated enough to dance. The characters proceed to put on a spectacular show with a dance native to their culture, impressing the women and angering the men who can't keep up with their skill. Now, the two leads in the Oscar performance were played by Jason Glover, who's American, and Billy Mustafa, who's Canadian, and were made to look like the two main characters in the movie despite not being South Indian. While the choreography and production teams diversified the cast by casting people of color in some of the white colonist roles, they failed to extend that representation in South Asians. Two South Asians in the ensemble and lead roles, argued Shivani Reddy, a Telugu American film and TV critic and TikTok content creator. She said, "I like that they went in a more diverse route because the movie itself became this global phenomenon." This is what Reddy told CBS News. "It just felt very exclusionary that the one race they didn't include was the one that was supposed to be represented because of the film and where it's from." Now, Reddy, who is part of the South Asian dance scene in LA, said that the South Asians are rarely represented in the arts, which is true, and that this performance would have been the perfect opportunity to give them that representation on Hollywood's biggest stage, saying, and I quote, "It's unfortunate because there are so many South Asian dancers that I know that are in the industry trying to get into those spaces that just don't get afforded those opportunities. And for the one time that we maybe could have gotten access, we were denied." Now, Joya Kazi, a professional dancer, choreographer, consultant, and producer in LA, who is a member of both the Screen Actors Guild and the Television Academy, said her agent submitted her for consideration as a dancer or member of the production team for the Oscars Natu Natu performance. Her agent later told her that Nappy Tabs had decided not to audition or even consider dancers they had not worked with previously. And there's a long Instagram post. If y'all want to read it from her page, it's in the Oscars full winners list article that I wrote. Now, like I said, I like the fact that they diversify the performers, and I like seeing a diverse group of people. But in my mind, I didn't even think about the fact, you know what? Maybe it is important to have, excuse me, it is good to have that representation of South Asian performers up there doing the dance. But maybe in Nappy Tabs in the mind, they was like, you know what? We only have a short window because how Hollywood is. They want to cut corners and do everything in like 2 days, very much reality TV, where, we need some dancers who could pick up choreography that we know really quickly. And so we're going to work with a lot of the dancers that we are familiar with from So You Think You Can Dance. Not thinking that, you know what, when it comes to representation and culture, a lot of cultures are all about need to have our people up there representing and having a lot of them in there doing the dances, pointing their fingers and their toes or whatever the way it's supposed to be done. So I don't know. It's a slippery slope. It's unfortunate, but you know what, Hollywood, y'all really got to learn how to like figure it out and catch up on all this other stuff. Now, if y'all want to read the full list, y'all probably already know who won all the awards and this, that, and the third. We don't need to go through all of that because we'll be here all damn day, and I don't want to bore y'all to death with the damn the winners. But this story that I read about the Academy voters who are anonymous revealing the secret ballots, bitch, I gagged. So now, I remember we did one, I think about a month ago, with the Grammys, where there were some people that were voting on the Grammys. And I believe Candy Burris posted a video on, I don't remember where, but I saw it, I think on Neighborhood Talk, or one of those blogs or whatever, on Instagram, where she was breaking down like how it works. How we take things from, you have the voters vote, but then the votes go to a committee, a small little committee, and they decide who gets nominated. But up in here, child, 4 anonymous Ampers voters are giving Entertainment Weekly. They spoke to Entertainment Weekly exclusively. They gave them an inside look into the voting process. And while some industry folk want to tell you, sell you on the illusion that they're celebrating the art of cinema, some of these voters are revealing what really goes on in their mind when casting their ballots. I'd sort of stopped watching them, one anonymous and longtime actor tells EW of his relationship to the Oscars before becoming a voting AMPAS member. I was so disgusted by the whole thing, and then I got to the Academy, and now I'm forced to. So be careful what you wish for. The whole Hollywood backslapping, get a big stinking load of me. It's not a newsflash. It just seems to get worse and worse. Now, his assessment is the kind of juicy candor that we come across when chatting with 4 Academy members of the 2023 Oscar picks. Now, look, I'm here for the shade, but so let's continue. I think the same guy went and said, or same person, because they didn't say who it was. Well, it's an actor, so I guess it's a male. I think the Academy is making an effort to please everybody, and it's reflective of the state of the world, but I feel like they're being held hostage, excuse me, somewhat unfairly by the wokeness. The actor later adds, taking issue with the group's increasingly political and increasingly commercial tastes. Okay. So let's stop right there, because you already irritated me by using that. But they're being held hostage unfairly by the wokeness. So what you're saying is they feel forced and obligated to diversify, even for people who don't deserve it. How many times we gotta have this conversation about woke being about, because y'all done took the fucking word and hijacked it and turned it into something they don't mean. Woke is about being socially aware of things that are going on in your community. So there's a whole thing that W. Kamau Bell. I said Brown. W. Kamau Bell. I used to watch his show back in the day when he had his little short-lived talk show. Used to love it. Then they canceled it. Did an interview with a guy and was talking about 100 years ago. So the word woke been around for 100 years, in case y'all didn't know this. And it stemmed from a blues singer who heard about a situation that happened down south. I believe it was in Tennessee, where someone went and lied and said that she was assaulted or whatever by some black men. Same situation with, it seems like cyclical. Emmett Till's happened with him. Heard some recently where some lady got put in jail for 8 years, a white woman, for lying and saying some men of color assaulted her. Come to find out the bitch took a hammer to her own face and lied about the whole situation. Yeah, I saw the video. Yeah, the media ain't gonna tell you that. These fucking Karens have lost their mind. Anyway, so this whole word usage of the word woke, it's about being aware, stay woke, be alert, because this is because we always have to be on, people of color have to be on pins and needles, because y'all white people are out here lying and making accusations and excuses and shit, getting people fired, getting people thrown in jail, all kinds of other stuff, because y'all trying to push a narrative that ain't the truth. But automatically y'all get away with it because people believe white folks over any other race. But it baffles me when a lot of you pick-me's run up there trying to be a part of that community thinking that they love and accept you. But I get what he's getting at, because when you say that the wokeness, I get the way I process it. Hollywood is trying to overcompensate for the lack of diversity that they've been pushing forth in the industry. For the most part, people of color just want the opportunity to play roles and have some representation and see themselves in things, because when we see ourselves on camera, that gives those other kids at home be like, you know what, so what's going on in my life, and seeing me is not so bad. Being LGBT or being black or being Asian or being Pakistani or Muslim or whatever the case is. They just want that representation. And if the role is good enough, then it should be nominated for an Oscar. I don't think it should be affirmative action type of thing where, we have to fill a quota because people will get mad. Because we do see it though, where the Oscars so white and all that shit. When people start pushing for that narrative on social media, they should have nominated this and they overlooking this and this, that, and the third. Then it's like, okay, so now you're saying that the Hollywood is so caught up in the wokeness. So I get it. Well, let's continue. So this year, he criticizes media blowback over Best Actress notice for Viola Davis and Danielle Deadweiler, who's in Till. Viola Davis for the Woman King, I should point out, as going one step too far, with despite this year's crop of nominees is still being overwhelmingly white, he feels the Academy is doing its part to champion diversity in the industry, saying when they get in trouble for not giving Viola Davis an award, it's like, no, sweetheart, you didn't deserve it. We voted, and we voted for the 5 we thought were best. It's not fair for you to start suddenly beating a frying pan and saying they're ignoring Black people. They're really not. They're making an effort. Maybe there was a time 10 years ago where they were, but they have, of all the high-profile things seen in the forefront of wanting to be inclusive, Viola Davis and the lady director need to sit down, shut up, and relax. You didn't get a nomination. A lot of movies don't get nominations. Viola, you have 1 or 2 Oscars. You're doing fine. Okay, now you're doing the most with that post. Sit down and shut up. That's the way you talk. That sounded a little misogynistic. Oh, sit down and shut up. You didn't deserve the Oscar. I thoroughly enjoyed The Woman King. Do I think it was Oscar caliber? I thought it was a good action film that was kind of, sort of, historically accurate. There were some things in it that people found problematic, where they were saying like the tribe were notorious for selling off their own people to the white folks. We could sit and debate that till the cows come home, but this ain't that type of show. So if you want to read the rest of all of that stuff, you could definitely read about it on how a lot of these people voted, especially, how they voted for Best Picture, Best Actor. One said that they voted for Austin Butler, but hated the movie. They liked his role, and they felt that Baz Luhrmann was undermining his performance. I actually have to admit, I did not like the way Baz Luhrmann directed a movie. He directs like it's a music video, almost it's all over the place, and the whooshing and all. I was like, I don't need all that fucking Moulin Rouge bullshit that y'all like doing. Because he directed that too. But the part I want to get to so we can move on. Oh, and then a lot of people said that they voted for Michelle Yeoh and stuff. So she had the lot. But this was the good part. Wait, did they have one on Angela Bassett that I wanted to read about? I don't think so. Okay. So we can move on. But I want to read about this one. So it said how Academy Vote members feel about Andrea Riseborough's Oscar nomination and accusations of the Academy shutting out Black women. So the actor said, I feel like anything goes, all's fair in love and war. I thought she gave a great performance. It was very much for your consideration, like what's going to win me an Oscar. It had all the check boxes through it, and it seemed to be pandering a bit, so that bugged me. The ending was terrible. Good for them. They went about it and got her a nomination. I'm sure other people were doing equally political maneuverings behind the scenes. They just didn't get caught. If it hadn't been for Viola Davis being mad she wasn't nominated, I don't think anybody would have questioned it. It's ridiculous. It's sour grapes. The Academy has bent over backwards to be inclusive. Last year, there were more Black people presenting. It's like, come on. I think Viola Davis is talented. I didn't see the woman. Now you done lost all credibility. The minute y'all start on this little rant and then say you ain't seen the movie, this way I had to be like, okay, shut the fuck up. Because somebody said that, literally, one of my friends the other day. Jamie Lee Curtis didn't deserve to win Best Supporting Actress. I didn't see Everything Everywhere All at Once. I ain't even hear of it. The argument is null and void now. Because it's like, why are you even talking? Like, you have no fight in this argument if you didn't see the fucking movie. Now, if you watch movies, you actually have a little more credibility because you could judge it on what it is. But I didn't even know that Viola Davis was bitching and moaning about it. I know, damn, what the hell is the damn director's name? And I talked about her last week. Gina Prince Bythewood. I know she had a lot to say. But they said the Academy has been over back to be inclusive. Now, this is another part that bothered me too. Last year, there were more Black people presenting. It's like, oh, it gives, so y'all should just be grateful we let y'all Black asses in the fucking room. Through the front door instead of through the kitchen. It is very much white man massa, keep the niggas in their place. Like, it's giving very that. And this is the overall complaint that a lot of people have about these Oscars. Oh, well, we allowed y'all to present, Presenting ain't the same as fucking nominations. Oh, you want us on your stage to give out your prestigious awards. I also heard that Halle Berry, I believe, was the stand-in for Will Smith, because when they did Best Act, the Best Actor, Best Actress, award, they usually have the person who won the prior year, but you know what happened, so that's why he wasn't there. So he said, but I'm a little tired of Viola Davis and her snotty crying. I'm over all of that. I'm willing to believe that Andrea Riseborough gave a better performance. Danielle Deadwyler was so pandering until for Academy Award nomination. She was good. I mean, who wouldn't be good in a part like that? The strong, wrong mother. But you look at the real Mamie Till, she's not wearing all these incredible gowns and beautiful makeup. I thought it was a confusing message. If they really made a movie about that woman who was not used to being in the public eye and wore house dresses, she wouldn't have had one incredible outfit after another. The ego behind the pushing her to be the movie star was too blatant for me. I do have to admit that I do not like a lot of those. I don't like the campaign tactics. I don't like a lot of these for your consideration films where they all like to pander to, we make this, we definitely make it because we want a nomination. It should feel organic and authentic. But whatever, it's a whole lot. I'm tired of talking about this shit. I don't know what's gonna change down the road. I don't know what's it gonna take for for people to move on from this stuff. But I do like the fact that in this situation, we have people who are willing to speak out about what's going on behind the scenes with the Oscars and this, that, and other, and spilling all the dirt. I do like that idea that that we have something like this happening, that people are willing to speak out. And I like that it's anonymous. I don't need them revealing who these people are, because then here we go with the canceling, and we want nothing to do with them, destroy their career, because we're in that stage. People don't like what you say, your career should be destroyed. I like the anonymous stuff, so let's keep that coming. Now, the ones we do want to find out behind the scenes tea about and spilling shit and being revealed, let's focus that on the politicians, the ones who secretly vote and remove things from our country in regards of LGBTQ rights, Black history, Black was it not even college, the fraternities and sororities up, they're trying to get rid of that down south. So it's a whole lot of things they're trying to roll back and take away because they have no actual policies to speak on. Those are the people that we should really be focusing on. That's some damn Oscars. So moving on into more Oscar stuff, let's talk about that Vanity Fair Oscar party. I also saw that Beyonce had a party too, but she had on a see-through dress. Titties had pasties on the nipples and this, that, and the third. Y'all ain't said not one word about Beyonce's see-through outfit. She looked good though. It was a gold party, I believe she had. But y'all had a lot to say about Ciara. So Ciara is finally addressing the internet trolls, and I said that on purpose, internet, INNANET, internet, who felt the need to express a selective outrage over her barely there dress she wore at the Vanity Fair party this past Sunday. Now, shout out to wrap up for this story. The sparkly sheer halter dress and plunging neckline was from Dundas' fall 2023 collection and left little to the imagination with just a black thong underneath. The Better Things singer arrived at the event alongside her husband, Russell Wilson. However, her nearly naked look was met with backlash on social media as some debated whether it was appropriate for a married woman to show so much skin. Well, she ain't fucking dead. I thought Ciara's married with kids. And where's her husband Russell when she wore this dress? He was there. Another person asked, what happened to having class? It's funny, y'all. I can't with y'all these whatever happened to class or whatever. So Hooker T. Washington, I love that name though. A bunch of unmarried pick-me's on the Clock app talking about how Ciara's dress wasn't becoming of a wife as she stands next to her whole husband. I said again, yuck, the ashy N-words with boo-boo between their cheeks have arrived. Let me get my block button ready. Come on, Shade. Another person wrote, y'all corny AF. I would love for my wife to dress like Ciara too. Ciara always classy, ain't never been wild with it. Y'all boys be insecure. So, people were going back and forth with their, stuff. Then there's this coon named Tijuana RN42. And the reason why I call this bitch a coon, because if you go on her damn Twitter, she called herself an avid Trump supporter. So that's why I call her a damn coon. I be doing the research. She got a bright, big as the black girl. She probably like Diamond and Silk. So, which one of them bitches is dead? So Ciara wore this dress at the Oscars, but with the Oscars being what it is it? Because you clearly know more than we do. Should we be surprised? I do wonder how Russell really feels, though, with seeing his wife in public like this. What happened to having class? You know what? I'm so sick of these goddamn people worrying about what somebody's husband or how they feel about wearing a certain outfit. He is a proud husband. I even saw Steve Harvey and I was talking about, because sometimes my coworker drives me to work in the morning and she like, listen to Steve Harvey. I can't stand that heifer. Sidebar, why is Bakari, aka Michael B. Jordan, because that's what the B stand for, in case y'all didn't know, looking more and more like Steve Harvey, 30 years younger, with that stupid little mustache? He need to shave that. He's starting to look like Steve Harvey. I mean, I knew he used to bang his daughter, but first of all, I don't need somebody who went around and cheated with Lori Harvey's mother, Marjorie, because she the mistress who he married. Talking about what people should and shouldn't be wearing on the red carpet. If Ciara has the body, if Ciara has the beauty and all other stuff, and plus this is Hollywood, people can wear whatever the fuck they want to wear. And plus it was also part of the theme, which is what Ciara was following. And if she look good, I mean, you ain't gonna have that body forever, so why not show it off while you can? But this is my favorite post from Amanzi Arnett. I'd prefer to put this more delicately, but to the men, and some of you bitches, saying, if Ciara were my wife, she wouldn't be wearing that. My brother, please don't concern yourself with hypotheticals that exist so far outside of the realm of possibilities for your life. Save yourself the stress. She'll never be your wife. There's a Ciara equivalent in your hometown working as an assistant manager at Pandora, and you can't even pull her. So you definitely don't need to be worrying about the crown princess of Crump. Calm down and keep your eyes on your own paper. And there you have it. But Ciara did clap back. She walked around. She said how they want Ciara to dress. And she literally was walking towards the camera with a white sheet covering her entire body. So shout out to Ciara. Continue to do you. Continue to wear whatever the hell you want to wear. Don't listen to these fucking people who sit behind their goddamn phone being keyboard warriors, wishing they were at the events you were at, wearing exactly the clothes you want to wear. And how do you define class? Class is based off of clothes? Clothes is the form of self-expression. And when you work in the world of Hollywood, the rules of Hollywood don't apply like it does to your regular life. When I worked in, environments like VH1 and all this stuff, the way they work, completely different to like a regular office situation. They do not, people in the entertainment industry do not march to the same beat of the corporate drum that everybody else runs, beats at. And she wasn't the only one that was there half naked. Emily Ratajkowski, Hunter Schafer, Alessandra Ambrosio, bad skin. Hunter Schafer was also dressed by Roach, by the way, from Euphoria, which we about to get into that conversation. Ooh, I almost closed out the show. Yeah, so we're going to talk about Roach in a second. But so, Ciara, continue to do you. Don't listen to these fucking people. Ciara has a new single coming out on Friday. Next Friday. By the way, I actually have the name, but I closed out the article and I don't feel like looking for it again. So I'm sure if y'all look long enough, you'll be able to see it. So let's talk about Roach. Ooh, please hold. Okay, so fashion architect Roach is breaking his silence on his retirement from celebrity styling and says he's not leaving his girl Zendaya, because a lot of people thought, oh, what's going to happen with your relationship with Zendaya, this, that, and the third, because they're no longer, he's retiring from fashion. So on Wednesday, the longtime stylist and image architect, who's 44, oh, I did not know he was 44, child. Maybe just me. Made it clear the bond between him and the Euphoria actress is still going strong. Fans speculated that there were issues between the two after a video then went viral. Now, for those of you who don't know, there was a video because people were like, well, why is he retiring? Because he put, I quit. Oh, it was retired. That's what he put up. DJ, shout out to you. Put it up in the group chat because I'll be up on the social medias. Like, I mean, I do, but I don't. I don't get to catch everything. So I was like, retired. So I looked into it. But y'all are shady because, you know, when I posted it on my, okay, we'll get to that. When I posted that on my social medias, the shade of a lot of people, like a lot of there was a lot of negative people. And I think what it was is because it was coming from the people who didn't like how he came across on Legendary. But when I was watching his exclusive interview with New York Magazine, where he was somehow upset and miserable. Ooh, I like that outfit. Go ahead, niece. Anyway, and the hair's flowing. She got that Naomi Campbell, 40-inch. You know, the one that Lux said that she had, but with evidence, girl, that, 40 inches of weave that you claim you wore in the premiere. But anyway, so, Lois somehow, like, for a long time, he was just unhappy with, the fashions and the styling and all that other stuff. So we do have a clip of his reasoning behind why he is leaving. But before we get to that, I want to set this up. So there was a lot of speculation as to why, because people were like, well, why is he leaving? He didn't really explain. He just basically said he was retiring. He was tired of the lies and the deceit and this and the third. It explains a lot of it at length in the New York Magazine interview. But a lot of people were saying that they noticed that there was some shade that happened at the Louis Vuitton show at Paris Fashion Week, where he always dresses Zendaya. She had like this tiger print look, and I do love the short hair on her. She looks really cute, very girly. So then Roach walked and stood in front of her. She was walking real fast. She was power walking to that seat. I noticed. And then Zendaya pointed to the seat behind her because I guess Laura thought that Emma Stone was getting up. Why would Emma Stone? Because they put everybody. I've been to fashion shows. I've sat second row, so I'm not big enough to be front row, but I have sat in the second row of fashion shows. So I don't know what all that means. I don't know if do they normally put stylists in to sit next to their artists? I mean, if y'all know people who really work in the fashion industry, like I've done the New York Fashion Week thing back in the day. I've gone to a couple of shows at Lincoln Center. I'm gonna say Lincoln Square. I mean, same shit. Lincoln Center. I actually lived in Lincoln Center. When I worked with the Big Apple Circus, which is in between. Mother has lived. I've done a lot. But anyway, so that happened, and then there was another stylist that came out and said something about, I guess. Laura was dressing Bella Hadid for the Cannes Film Festival. And this other person who was supposed to be working with them, I forgot the person's name. What is it? Let me look. I believe, the Combino. I don't know what gender the person is. I didn't see the picture. I just saw all the information stuff that was up. But anyway, so the Combino came out and said something. I think that's how they said the name. It's the way it's spelled. I'm going, chatting. I'm going to say that other blogger. Similar name, the Combino. Anyway, so the Combino came out and went on social media and pretty much just shit all over Law's name, made him look crazy out here somehow. Oh, you trying to take an opportunity away from me? And I think he alluded to that in the interview. He was saying he was just tired of the misconstruing, the miscommunication. A lot of people saying things that's not true, and he was getting tired of it. So without further ado, let's get to this clip and we'll talk more about Mr. Roach. Roll the clip.
When I started working with Anne Hathaway, I was the first black stylist that was working with A-list white talent, and it was a big a big deal, right? It was a big deal in the community of black stylists. I think what it did was show the industry that we are just as talented, and that we can do talent other than black girls. That was a really important moment in my career, and it was a really important moment for other people's careers. Because it just wasn't happening. Right. It just absolutely wasn't happening. And you know, I didn't dress Ann at the beginning. I dressed Ann when Ann is Ann. You know, Ann is, you know, Oscar winning, like Ann is a movie star, right? And so what that did was gave actually other people hope that, you know, and other stylists that they can do it too. And I think we saw, you know, Jason Bowden go on and style Angelina Jolie, which was, people don't understand, like, it's a pack of us, right? A very small pack of us, and every time we have a win, one of us have a win, it feels like it's a win for everybody else. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants the most successful career and the most diverse career that they can have, right? And everybody wants the opportunities, and unfortunately.
So yeah, if you want to see that full interview, you could definitely go to my website, chrisavalon.com, where, you know, Lord Roach basically breaks his silence on his retirement. I added the video today, so it has been updated, and I even reposted it on my Twitter and my my Facebook. So I make it, you know, I try to make it easier for y'all to find the stuff, because I didn't even know he did the interview until I think a friend of mine, Stephen Royster, shout out to him, posted something about the Lord Roach thing, and some girl was like, one in the comments was like, oh, I was hanging on to every single word that was coming out of his mouth. So I love the fact of, like, you know what, people need to give people some grace to understand. Like, I see why Lord was, you know, a little snooty with the energy and the attitude. Probably just a lot of bullshit that he was dealing with, and unfortunately, you bringing that over into things, so people kind of just go into a little situation and tangent about the whole, oh, I don't like it because of how he came across on Legendary and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yeah, no, but but the thing with me is I live for the mess. Like, I'm entertained by the mess. I'm entertained by the shenanigans. I prefer people who are their unfiltered selves than people who try to produce themselves because they're worried about backlash from viewers and fans. That's why on this season of Drag Race, I am here for Lux, even though because Lux is messy, and Mistress Isabel Brooks is not afraid to come out. She's like, you know what, these seasons have been stale for a long time. Too many of these damn queens be on here producing themselves because they worried about the backlash of the fans and this, that, and the third. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna do what needs to be done, and I'm gonna just say what I need to say, to take a quote from Law. So you know what? I feel like Law says he is not leaving fashion. He will always be a part of the fashion world, but he is not going to be this whole stylist for hire type of person, because he's tired of the bullshit. He's tired of shenanigans. He's tired of people lying on his name. He's tired of people questioning his integrity, and he's done with all that extra, the crazy politics of celebrity styling. He can do other things in the fashion world. There's so many things that he can do in the world of fashion. I would like to see Law as a judge on a fashion show. You know what? What's that damn show on Netflix that just ended with My Boy Just Won? With Gigi Hadid and Tan France. They need to get him on there as a permanent judge if that show comes back for a season 3. I'm hoping it does, because I like it. I don't know why am I thinking Making the Cut. Making the Cut is with Tim Gunn and Heidi Klum. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Child, I'm drawing a blank. But I would love to see him on that, or some type of fashion show, or even Project Runway. I mean, you know, Christian Siriano was on there, and Christian always turns it out with the fashions. So I would love to see Law on a reality show with fashion. Since Legendary ain't coming back, I kind of wish it was, but unfortunately, it's not. Thank you. Next in Fashion. I don't know why I could not remember the name of that show. I love that show, by the way. I know people saying it was boring, but I don't feel like everything needs drama. Sometimes, you know, when I watch competition shows, I like watching shows where it's just a lot of, amazing clothes, how they put things together, the pressure, being the pressure cooker, all that other stuff. Like, I love watching people I love creative people and watching them be creative, like taking something from nothing and turning it into something extravagant. So sometimes are we back? Child, I thought we were taking a commercial break. Anyway, hi. So yeah, let's play this quick commercial break, and when we come back, so I can do a proper send off. We will talk about Legendary. A couple of legendary people are calling out Drag Race from mocking Ballroom. We have who is it? Like, I forgot my own tea. So we have Gravity Jacobs had something to say. Also, Aja, who was on season 3 and was also on Drag Race, had something to say. And Laomi. Oh, you you okay? You want me to still do the show? I'm going. Thank you, production. So I guess we will just continue. Don't play with me. Talking about some damn RuPaul. Talking about Lance Reddick, RuPaul. Don't do that. See, this is why I be wanting to hit people. But anyway. Anyway, okay, so let's get into this legendary story. Because apparently there's a debate going on about RuPaul's Drag Race culturally appropriating Ballroom. Basically saying that they are bastardizing the culture. And I got some thoughts on it, and so do some people that I know. Like, I posted this on my social media after I wrote the article. Shout out to all y'all that actually read the article, because the numbers is pretty, it seemed like it's a topic that a lot of people was interested in. Because I don't know, I just saw like people were commenting on it. I was like, you know what? The universe is telling me it's a topic that needs to be touched, because it's been going on for a couple of years. And I remember in the beginning stages of Drag Race, I always thought that they appreciated the culture. You know, I always say there's 3 A's that, you know, that we deal with in the situation when it comes to the whole cultural appropriation conversation. Couldn't even think of the word. I was going to say controversy. I mean, it's kind of controversial, but it's also part of the conversation, the vernacular of our community. There's a cultural appropriation, cultural appreciation, and cultural assimilation. So those are my 3 A's that I always talk about. And there's a difference when it comes to situations. It's like when people accuse Madonna of cultural appropriation. Madonna is not a cultural appropriator. She will take things from different cultures and she brings them into the mainstream, but she also brings those people along. Unlike what Nappy Tabs neglected to do with the Oscars. So when Madonna was bringing in the whole voguing scene, she had members of the voguing houses with her on stage, not only teaching her how to vogue for the videos, but she also took them on tour with her. And yeah, when it died out, it was like, okay, we can move on. But she's still always, but that song has always been with her, and she always performs it at every last tour. And, you know, there are members of the houses that don't have a problem with it. Jose Extravaganza is always out here defending it. Is he a sellout because he has no problem with it or whatever? So I've never, there's certain people who I do see that's, you know, there's an argument about Gwen Stefani. Is she a cultural appropriator because she brings all these things? You know, she loves West Indian culture. She loves Jamaica. She named her child Kingston. When people talk about she appropriates the culture, the Jamaicans don't think so. They love the fact that Gwen Stefani has embraced the culture and brings it into the music. So it's always a difference. But apparently with Drag Race, in the beginning stages, I remember they used to bring in, you know, incorporate a lot of the culture and bring a lot of LGBT people onto the show and stuff. But now it's gone so mainstream. Now it feels like it's more or less y'all taking our culture and you've watered it down for straight consumption. But like we've seen, a lot of the queens have been coming out lately, especially when we talking about the whole drag thing, you know, with drag outlaws and all this other stuff. Y'all trying to outlaw drag and this, that, and the third. Y'all been real silent. So y'all love watching us up in here shuck and jive for your entertainment. But when it comes to our rights being violated, crickets. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Or maybe it does interlink with this. That's why I have to say last night's episode of Drag Race couldn't have came at a better time. What they basically did is the rusical Wig Loose, which is a take on Footloose, where they were trying to outlaw drag. And it's funny how that came. They did this episode right around when they're doing all of this. Even though, if you've been paying attention, they've been coming after drag queens for a long time. This is not just something that just came out of the air a week ago or 2 weeks ago. This has been going on for a while. It's just been in the pressure cooker. It's just the steam done pop, you know, spilleth over the pot in the water. So throughout the 15 years Drag Race has existed, the show has always found ways to incorporate voguing challenges into the show. Now, over the years, ballroom purists have taken to social media to drag the show for referring to a dip as a death drop and a shablam, which that has always grinded my fucking gears when they would do that. Shablam. Death drop. They even had a fucking play in the UK called Death Drop. A couple of Drag Race girls was in it. I remember they also called out former Drag Race judge Todrick Hall on bastardizing the culture in his music videos and in his music. And I believe when he did the Hope Giselle interview, he actually mentioned that about him using the wrong terminologies and stuff in his songs in reference to Ballroom. How people would drag, like, what's a shablam? What's a death? They even did that in the last episode. RuPaul talking about shablams and shit. Girl, you've been around long before speech replaced sign language. You know better. But she follows a script, so. Now, during the season 15, episode 11 mini challenge, Gravity Jacobs Balmont, who appeared on the first season of Legendary, called out the show for mocking the culture, instead of celebrating it, as they claim. For those who need a reminder, voguing is a highly stylized modern house dance originating in the late 80s and that evolved out of the Harlem ballroom scene of the 60s. It gained mainstream exposure when it was featured in Madonna's song and video for Vogue and showcased in the 1990 documentary Paris is Burning, which I like to call the Gay Bible. And it went on to win the Grand Jury Prize at the 1991 Sundance Film Festival. In its modern form, the dance has become a global phenomenon that continues to evolve both stylistically and demographically. Here's what Gravity said. Call me a hater all you want, but the voguing mini challenge in tomorrow's Drag Race episode is probably the most egregious and blatant example of the show's unrelenting efforts to bastardize and make a mockery of Vogue and Ballroom, from terminology to technique and framing. This is what he wrote. He also called the mini challenge incredibly disheartening and said that the segment proved that Drag Race remains committed to active misinformation and historicization of the scene. It's incredibly disheartening that despite several mainstream and modern depictions of Ballroom coming out, RuPaul's Drag Race remains committed to active misinformation. Oh, I did just read that. Goes without saying that this is not primarily targeted towards the queens competing, but rather towards the powers that be. And I think that has always been the argument. It's like, we're not going after the queens. We're going after the powers that be that are just not understanding how the culture is. And that's Gravity Jacobs, y'all can see in the picture, from the House of Beaumont. Gravity may not have been going after the queens, but Aja is. And Naomi is. Well, we'll get to what they had to say in a second. So we also added Drag Race capitalizing off of inaccurate narratives of Vogue and Ballroom is nothing new, but this one is about as blatant as they come. So Aja, who is a Drag Race alum, she appeared on season 9 of All Stars 3, and was a part of the House of La Beja, and also appeared on Legendary, like I said, the last season before they canceled it, has been very vocal about the nogging seen on the show and gave her thoughts on the comments. Now, for those who don't know who nogging is people who call themselves voguing but ain't doing it correctly. I learned that from Naomi, by the way. So Aja got in the comments what Gravity had to say and said, I shut my ass up because I got so much for speaking up, so I ain't gonna say nothing. And then Gravity laughed at her comment. But I got what she said. So, she got dragged by Drag Race fans for being overly critical of fan favorite Anitra's duck walk, dips, and hand movements. Saying the following. Anitra, is this funny to you? Nah. And then I had this picture of a lady looking surprised. To get the whole full context, you could look at the other, go on my website. And then another one she posted, okay, wait, I was too busy being a hater, but Anitra actually did carry LMFAO and all that stuff. And then posted a picture of Lana Del Rey with the big words, ultra embarrassed, in caps. She also went on to say, like I said, those of you running to debate Vogue, but don't understand the language or even understand performance or anything about Ballroom, have a seat. Because, a lot of people was going in on Aja trying to question her credibility. Talking about, didn't you just start voguing like a week ago? Like, you wasn't even a part of a house. You wasn't just a third. And I'm like, I don't know necessarily the timeline of when Aja really started voguing. Like, I don't follow Aja like that, but I did notice, like, she did do a voguing performance during her All-Star season, which people love how she did that jump, that jump dip. I guess we could call it that, because she jumped into a dip, jumped off a box into a dip, I should say, in her challenge. And was doing voguing. She did a duck walk and all other stuff, and with the sword and all this stuff. So she did a cute little number. So one person responded to Aja by saying, baby, I love you and respect you so much, but I don't understand why you only talk about Anitra. So many queens did nogging in the show, and only she received the title of appropriator. Willow did a horrible duck walk in the finale, and no one talks about it's weird. I don't know. And Aja responded by saying, just so we're clear, my narrative of her was never that she was inappropriate. I think that's what she meant to wrote. Right. Or it was just that it wasn't being done correctly. I reached out to have a friendly combo before I even said anything that critical and was ignored. So now I do have a personal problem. So that's why she took it to social media. She's like, I hit her up, she ain't answer me. And I heard Aja was blocked by Anitra because I guess she didn't like the fact of what Aja was saying about her. Now, back in January, when Anitra won the first mini maxi challenge of the season, with the variety show performance that included duck walking, former legendary judge Naomi Maldonado weighed in on the show and the queen's nogging skills, saying, "I wish those contestants would stop making a mockery out of Ballroom by continuously nogging for their lives. Imagine being a delusional individual who thinks me pointing out nogging is me hating, wasting time leaving comments, my tweets as if it's going to take away from the nogging." Maldonado also retweeted a previous PSA she once shared on Twitter about the differences between Virgin Vogue and nogging. The legendary star explained, "There's a huge diff between Virgin Vogue and nogging. Virgin Vogue means you're studying videos / attending classes to learn from Voguers. Nogging is more so someone seeing Vogue and just imitating and displaying voguing however they feel it is because they're dancers." Now, fans of the show took to social media to express their opinion on the matter, saying, "I just don't get why Ballroom folk haven't been invited as guest judges and a special guest. Like, you take their ish and then don't want to key with them." That's when one Instagram user wrote. Another added, "Their whole thing felt extremely ridiculous, and now even more people will just use Vogue as a comedy gag in performances. Ugh." On the other hand, one Instagram user simply commented, "Totally disagree. RuPaul's Drag Race is a show for the LGBT plus community." That's what they wrote. "And I believe that everyone has a right to do voguing, even if they are not professional dancers." Well, I don't know if I agree with that. See, this is the part where we get into that whole spiel of, "Oh, well, some of y'all think that everybody should be a drag queen." You can dress in drag all you want, but not everybody should be a drag queen. No shade. Because coming up in this, in my community, to me, I've always looked at drag as something as like gay men do, trans women do, because trans women, that was a way where they earn their income coming up in the whole world of drag. Now we got straight women that want to do drag. Now we got straight men that want to do drag. Can we have some shit for ourselves? And I'm not apologizing for my thoughts on this, but it's like, there's sometimes in communities, let certain people have their stuff. Everybody always think that everybody got to be inclusive in everything. No, certain things is for us. Just like I used to have a problem with straight people coming to our side. It's like, this is the one place I could go that I can get the fuck away from y'all. Because I'm around you bitches all damn day. That's no shade. But then y'all want to come into our establishments and be loud because y'all don't want to deal with the men in y'all own fucking establishments. So a lot of you women want to come into our establishments with your loudness, with your extraness, with your disrespect, which is some of the complaints the queens have when they trying to put on a show for their people. Like, you're welcome to come and whatever, but y'all need to be more respectful. So that's what my irritation comes from. But my thoughts on this is this. On one hand, I do agree that, I get that Vogue and purists like Aja, Gravity, and Naomi, they're overly critical, and they should be. This is something that they do professionally. This is something that they hold sacred, and this is something that they take seriously. And they want people to come in and take their art form seriously and not poke jokes at it, make jokes, make a mockery, bastardize the whole thing, where you got queens flopping around like a damn dead fish on the floor, making jokes about this situation. Because to me, it always seems like with Drag Race, y'all all about making mockeries and jokes about things instead of really taking the art form seriously. And we can all have a key and have a good time with situations, but everything ain't a damn joke. Now, but I should also say, you know what, on the other hand, this is the price we have to pay, when our culture is no longer underground and you want it to become bigger and it's ushered into the mainstream. And it's performed by people who haven't studied the craft. It's the same thing with drag. Drag at one point was edgy, it was underground, it was creative, but Drag Race has taken this thing and it's turned it into something that is it's not really the art of drag. It's good to see these girls out here competing and doing a performance, whatever. At the end of the day, it's a reality show described as a competition series. That's what it is at this point. In the early years, it was all about, showcasing the art of drag and stuff. Now it's a bunch of bullshit. I don't know any other show that got girls literally going broke, having to bring 15 looks on TV, already made. They don't have the money. They got to rob Peter to pay Paul. And all their outfits don't even get shown because they get eliminated. So this is the one show that people have to come out of pocket to go on. And rude things, $1,000 here, $5,000 there. Like these little cash prizes is enough to cover the expenses, but whatever. This is what they do on their show. That's what it is. But I do agree that, you know what? Maybe what they should do is bring people on from these other shows, bring people on from Ballroom to judge the challenges. I don't know why Rue doesn't bring people from our industry or the culture onto these shows. A lot of these kids ain't got time to read books and educate themselves and look things up. They don't, because y'all not putting it out there. They already, Dumb Santas and all these other idiots trying to ban our history. So sometimes, unfortunately, it's up to these shows to, historically represent a lot of our community. So good luck to y'all. I know this is probably going to be a conversation that goes on and on and on and on and on. That's not going to go anywhere, and we'll continue to have this debate. But I definitely want to hear y'all thoughts on this whole situation. I know a lot of people already commented on it on my Facebook and stuff. I'll post this video again on my other platforms, and we'll see what people think about it. But because it ain't going nowhere no time soon. I'm sure Drag Race going to keep bringing Ballroom onto the show, and we're going to continue to hear the Ballroom girls going in on the show for continuing to bastardize the culture. Because now our show is basically for straight consumption. It's no longer really for us. Even though we was the ones out here bitching that they cut it down to an hour. So let's talk about Diddy. So media mogul Tyra Perry and Byron Allen, sure y'all heard, aren't the only ones looking to get their hands on BET, because now Diddy is throwing his cap into the ring. Shout out to Variety for this story, now run by CEO Scott Mills. BET Media includes BET, BET Plus, VH1, which was moved under the group in a restructuring at Paramount last November, and BET production arm BET Studios. Now, a source close to Combs tells Variety that the global music icon or record exec, turned multi-industry entrepreneur, is exploring the opportunity to purchase BET as a part of his strategy to build a Black-owned global media powerhouse. Now, another source familiar with the situation tells Variety that while Combs has expressed interest in acquiring BET, he is not yet considered to be in talks with Paramount to purchase a majority stake. In fact, the insider says that Paramount is not yet in talks with anyone at this point in the process, but that many parties have expressed interest. Well, that's good. And Paramount Global denied Variety's request for comment. But as y'all know, Diddy already has his own, network. It's called Revolt. He actually launched it 10 years ago in 2013. Now, over the past decade, the network, rooted in hip-hop culture, has developed into a multimedia company that produces linear and digital long-form series and multi-platform short-form programming. Now, when it first started out, it reached roughly 25 million households, but it has now grown to 80 million. But the digital reach has been exponentially greater than the network, which is true, because when I do watch Revolt stuff, I watch it on YouTube. Like, I watch the clips and stuff. I don't even know where Revolt is on my damn television. I would be able to tell you. But Revolt is all over YouTube. So if anything pops up or whatever, I could go over there. Isn't Jason Lee a part of Revolt? They got him. They got Drink Champs. They got I think the Breakfast Club is still with them. So they do a lot of stuff about hip hop person and stuff. And looking back on it, Diddy did say this, and then we'll get to my thoughts. Well, he calls himself Love now. He did post on social media. Shout out to the Neighborhood Talk for this. Here's what he said. He said, media is the most powerful industry in the world, but it's the industry where we have the least amount of ownership, influence, and control. It's time for at BET to be Black-owned again, so we have the power to tell our own stories, control our own narrative. This is not about me, it's about we. I'm building a team of leaders in the culture to pursue ownership in BET together. We have to unify our power and resources to create a real change. Hashtag the time is now. Diddy, it always baffled my mind how we as Black folk have never unified our superpowers to do business together, and that has to stop. The only way for us to progress and to elevate is through unity. It's not about me, it's about we. The purpose is bigger than the moment. And I'm here for that. And to me, if this is really what he really about and no type of agenda, I don't know. I kind of believe him in this. All the other stuff in the past, I was like, I'm feeling a little agenda type situation going. But for this situation, I actually believe him. I really feel like he's looking to, he wants to move the culture forward. And I believe he's been paying attention to seeing, like, well, all the stuff going on. Like we talked about the Oscars earlier, how people mad about Oscars so white and how y'all continue to overlook black people. Maybe with Diddy owning BET, we can get to a place where, we need an award show that celebrates black excellence. And so hopefully we can get to that point where it's like, you get the big names, the elites, all of them to come out and be like, you know what? We got a new award show. Black people coming over there. We don't need, your services at the Oscars is no longer needed. We don't need to go over there and but then again, if these people, it just dawned on me. Like, what if that people of color are threatened? That's like, if y'all don't show up to the Oscars, then we're going to deny y'all opportunities to go for these certain movies. But if they did that, I'm sure like a lot of these powerful people, they could bring lawyers into the mix, because I don't think you could deny. But stranger things have happened in Hollywood, but you could deny people the opportunity to get roles and stuff if they don't show up. But anyway, out of the three that I was thinking about, if Diddy brings in the right group of people and really takes credence into diversifying in regards of the content, I'd be here for it. I know Byron Allen owns the Weather Channel. I don't know what else he owns or what he's about and this, that, and the third. I need to know more about his resume. Tyler Perry is a no for me. And y'all know why. But in case you don't, and I know Byron Allen also revived Judge Mathis' career. He just brought him back. They canceled his show. He gave him a new one. I'm surprised Will Packer hasn't thrown his name in the ring. He probably don't have that kind of money. I'm not going with Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, we already know what we're gonna get when it comes to him. That man don't want to hire nobody to do nothing. He want to write them tight ass scripts, come up with them dry ass wigs, and then horrible ass dialogue. We don't need. BET already got enough Tyler Perry programming all over it. So y'all pretty much know what y'all gonna get. The same old, and he gonna run that damn network into the ground. Tyler Perry's good at what he does, but as far as like with his brand, but if you're not willing to come out and diversify and hire writers and bring in new opportunity to create newer, different content, I can't see it. I could sort of see Diddy doing it. Production said he see Byron Allen. But I see more Diddy bringing in a bunch of people and then be like, okay, sending y'all scripts, we're gonna look back talent. But I hope like if y'all gonna go, if BET gonna go with this, if y'all gonna start competing with the big boys, y'all really need to give a bunch of people opportunity. We don't need only one specific type of black program like the Being Mary Janes or the Harlems or the Game and that type of stuff. We need a mixture. Like we need the next P Valley. We need the next Noah's Ark. We need stuff like that. We need y'all to diversify your portfolio. So don't just have a certain type of, upper echelon black type of programming. Like I said, diversify the portfolio, and I'm here for it. So we'll see. Because who knows? I might send you some of my scripts. So good luck to whoever, ends up getting it. And don't fuck it up, in the words of RuPaul. So anyway, let's take this break. When we come back, we're going to break down this whole hate crime hoax with Jussie Smollett. I'm going to get my thoughts on that. Lil Nas X's issued an apology to the trans community for a joke that he told. Whoopi Goldberg is also apologizing, and Tyra Banks is leaving Dancing with the Stars. So we got all that when we come back right after this break. So don't go nowhere. All right. My car insurance has been paid as a result of not receiving monthly severance payments. Why do I sound like a cross between but that's kind of like what Kelvin sound like, right? But why I sound like I'm doing Macho Man Randy Savage and Herschel Walker. That's why I feel like anyway. Oh yeah. I'm behind. He said, I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended. My life, okay, I gotta start doing that thing because that's gonna mess up my voice and I have to get polyp surgery. Okay, so my life has been greatly affected since the plaintiff stopped making payments under our settlement agreement. That's what he added. Wendy's attorney is pushing back on the claim, stating that Williams, 58, has not had a steady source of income from the Wendy Williams show since she stopped showing up for work.
There you go. Anytime he says yo, I'm going to put on his voice. My thing is this: with all the things she accomplished and as influential as she was, they chose to make everything about the scandal, the Lifetime movie and the documentary. It was all about the scandal, and that's pathetic. Ooh, I need a sip after that. Okay. So Kelvin continues and talks more about what happened once they decided to part ways, to divorce, and when he decided to, when he was pushed out or severed ties with the Wendy Williams show. He says Wendy was coming out of rehab. They were close.
Sexually, are you more like a top or a bottom, like stuff like that?
I'm glad you asked because I don't think we've talked about that at all.
Which is usually like in the gay world, the first thing you say is somebody.
You're like top, bottom, burst, block.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, very flexible. I'm
you gonna get that day?
Not that kind of flexible.
It's coming out. It's coming out.
I enjoy being both dominant and submissive, and I have my seasons, where I want to top
catch him on the right day.
I want to get plowed more.
Oh.
Oh, she was carrying. We back. Oh yeah, that scene was for the love of Dills. I'm surprised they have not addressed. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the show yet because, I've seen the show. The show isn't done. It's not finished. We got a couple more episodes left for the love of Dills. I'm surprised they haven't brought up Bobby Knight's porn pass. Well, not pass. He's still doing it. Because I just saw he did a scene with Alex Tikas, who I had on the show a couple of weeks ago. Sidebar: we are working on getting Tony Cannoli on the show. I've been speaking to him behind the scenes. We were supposed to have him on tonight, but scheduling conflicts. So we're working on next week, but he's gonna let me know what's what in the schedule. So we're definitely gonna get that situated this week. So definitely be on the lookout for that special episode of On the Line while we'll be interviewing Tony Cannoli from For the Love of Dills. So definitely look out for that. And welcome back to the show. Shout out to Lil Nas X and that little voguing exhibit. Child, and you tried it with that damn Kempire clip. That's what I was referring to when I was talking about, the other blogger name that sounded similar to, But anyway, so yeah, people out here biting off my bits, but whatever. This is more where that came from. Welcome back to the show. Let's get into this Jussie Smollett story. So in the Fox Nation documentary regarding Jussie Smollett's hate crime hoax, the Osundero brothers are reenacted how they partook in staging a racist and homophobic hate crime attack on the actor director back in 2019. Now, Amimbola and Olabinjo Osundero claimed the morning they prepared to allegedly help Jussie Smollett stage a racist and homophobic attack against himself in 2019. He didn't show on time. They said, "We made sure we got there at 2 a.m. sharp. We had no phones because he did not want us to bring them any phones. This is what Bola, well, I'm going to call him Bola. Bola and Ola. Bola and Ola. Bola, Ola, Ola. Anyway, Bola alleged. So 2 a.m., he was nowhere to be found. He was not there, so we're like, damn, what do? We didn't have no way of contacting him. He had no way of contacting us. So we waited there for about 4 minutes. Now, Ola chimed in, but it felt like forever. He also said because it was cold as balls. So I saw him on the corner of my eye. That's what Bola recalled. And I was like, okay, that's him. Let's go. Now, the brothers returned to the posh Chicago block for the first time since the chilly January 2019 morning for the 5-part docuseries Jussie Smollett, Anatomy of a Hoax, that was currently streaming on Fox Nation. It's also, I believe, it was on Fox Soul as well. Now, in the exclusive interview since testifying at Smollett's trial in 2021, the brothers share exclusive details of their alleged roles in the made-for-TV drama that captured international headlines for years. Their attorney, Gloria V. Rodriguez, is listed as an executive producer of the series. This is how you know it's some bullshit. But I got a lot to say about this conspiracy theory, pass it off as a documentary. As we crossed the street, we said, hey, to get his attention. Hey, N-word. He turned around, looked at us, and that's when we started yelling the famous slurs he wanted us to yell. Hey, aren't you that Empire F-word? The Osadero brothers claimed to the camera crew in tow. We started tussling, moving around, and then I pulled him to the ground. Bola said of Smollett, who's 40. He wanted it to look like he fought back. That was very important for him because he said, hey, don't just beat my ass. Make it look like I'm fighting back and whatnot. Okay, Black John Wick. Smollett, who has long proclaimed his innocence, didn't participate in the project, of course, which arrives nearly 2 weeks after he filed an appeal challenging his 2021 disorderly conduct conviction and requesting a new trial. Now, according to the Post, where I got the story from, they reached out to Smollett's attorney for comment, but haven't gotten back. Now, the Fox Nation special rehashes the rise and fall of the openly gay actor who starred in the Fox show Empire, which followed the exploits of a cutthroat music mogul and his talented family, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Bola alleged Smollett didn't provide a specific motive, but wanted to be the poster boy for activism. The brothers claimed Smollett walked them through their plans and accompanied them to the site beforehand. Bola said he remarked afterward, yo, this Hollywood itch is crazy. Yeah, you should know you want to be a part of it. You want to graduate from being an extra to an actor. So you know how crazy Hollywood is. And this dude, wow, I don't know what the hell he's on, but ish, we part of it now. Now it's time to, carry on and follow through with it. Now, he filed the whole lawsuit, said he was coming from a Subway restaurant, which I don't know any Subway that's open at 2 a.m. Now, here's the thing. Do I believe the story that Jussie put out? Because, he had the backing of so many people, like the Obamas or these other people. Oh, and let's not forget about Eddie Johnson, because he was a part of it too. The Chicago police superintendent, from 2016 to 2019. He also appeared in the docuseries, and he said that police actually had a better photo of the suspects than the grainy one they initially shared, but feared inciting angst among Chicago's Black and gay community. So now, in full disclosure, I can say this. The reason why we wouldn't let them put it out was because it did have a red baseball cap. That's what Johnson 62 explained in the photo. The red hat was allegedly worn to suggest ties to the Make America Great Again campaign theme, saying, I didn't want people to focus on that because it would cause more angst. So now the next day, when everybody finds out about it, do you think we would have had some issues in the city? Yeah, we would have. So it goes on and on and on and on and on. And I think here's the gag. I believe that Jussie made up the hoax, but there was a reason behind it, because we were talking about it, and I wasn't initially going to bring this up because I was like, I'm not watching that shit, because I just felt in my bones that the docu-series was a complete bunch of bullshit. And I know Al You Doing was out there trying to get people to watch it. So not because I'm a part, bitch, that's exactly why, because your ass is on it. But I don't need to watch a docu-series to know that it's a bunch of bullshit. Number one, the brothers was, from what I saw, the clips online, they to me just seemed like they were just up there trying to proclaim their innocence, trying to act like they ain't no child. Y'all grown, you know exactly what y'all was getting yourselves into, and you trying to sit up here and act like y'all was completely innocent. You partook in the shit, so now y'all out here snitching. In the words of Lucius Lyon, snitching ass bitches. And we supposed to just all of a sudden take y'all word as gospel? No, because it's like y'all were here for the shits because y'all was gonna get paid. Or probably got paid. I don't know. I ain't checked your pockets. But now that the shit hit the fan and all the evidence was out there because they caught y'all up at the place buying, the repair spot, buying up the ropes and all this other stuff. Now you want to spill tea so y'all can stay out of jail. So the conversation I was having with production behind the scenes, because a lot of y'all probably don't know this, but a lot of times when we do this show, we have a long ass after show. So when the camera's on rolling, we sit and we talk about the show, we talk about things throughout the week, and we kind of go and break things down in our own little, we have the little back and forth conversation. So this theory that I came up with, because I was like just paying attention to all the evidence and thinking about it, Jussie Smollett was dealing with a lot of homophobia being a part of Empire, particularly with his character. And we know, and I know this because I've been paying attention to it. And also we've had people who have had to, we see it in a lot of shows that we watch, the overall vitriol that people spread whenever they see any kind of gay stuff on a show they're watching. That at any time, as adults with fucking working fingers and hands, can flip the channel if you don't like something. But apparently y'all don't get enough love and hugs at home. You feel the need that you need to tweet and post every goddamn thing that nobody asked y'all about on social media. Y'all disdain for things. But at the end of the day, whether you want to know or see it or not, we deserve representation. People mad about The Last of Us. Oh, them gays. Why they gotta put that? It's not like the game. You think they're gonna put fucking in the game? They're gonna put making out in the game? They're gonna put people doing all that other relationship stuff in the game? It's a fucking video game. Stories have a right to be told. So y'all had a problem with Jussie Smollett and his whole storyline with the relationships and all that other stuff was going. But I had no problem with the scene with Lucius Lyon throwing his ass in the garbage can. Y'all love that. But y'all have a problem with seeing two black men in a loving embrace, same gender loving, in an embrace and loving on each other. So he was dealing with a lot of stuff behind the scenes, from a lot of hate mail and all this other stuff, a lot of death threats. Fox, being what the fuck it is, wasn't doing a goddamn thing about it. And he was fed up. So all of a sudden he channeled his in a gay Tupac, because Tupac was he was someone who was very much politically motivated from his mother being a part of the Black Panthers, and Jussie being of a certain age, he's in his 40s. We're aware of that historical context. So Jussie got all up in his situation, took it a little too far, concocted this whole cockamamie situation, because ain't nobody talking about this. Y'all get so caught up in the lie, but you're not looking beneath, peeling back the onion to look beneath it. So why did he do what he did? So Fox wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing with the threats. So unfortunately, Jussie had to come up with something to wake y'all the fuck up. So he did this and almost got away with it. According to production, he seemed like he wasn't intended to get away with it because, the ego and all that other stuff. And the fact that he has a lot of powerful people behind him and a lot of money. But I think what got people upset, because, at any other time, y'all quick to throw black people in jail. But with all this political stuff, because, the stuff I mentioned earlier about they didn't want certain things getting out because they didn't want to upset the black community and the gay community and all these other things. Because, people pay attention when a celebrity is assaulted. Y'all pay more attention to the celebrity being assaulted than some Joe Schmo down the block who went through the same thing that a Jussie would. So he created this thing. Chicago, I think, was just the people behind the scenes, the cops, the attorneys, the legal team, all that other stuff, were mad because they got duped. Now we got to teach this N-word a lesson. So even though y'all, whatever process y'all was doing, all this other stuff, now y'all want to come out and make an example of this man, and you want to throw the book at him. So you want him to have 100-something odd days in jail, which he's now trying to appeal because he's out of jail. He only did like a couple of days, starving his damn self. Y'all let him out. So I think that's what all that is. But these dingbat brothers, y'all not getting off scot-free. You don't get to do a stupid documentary, a part of Fox of all play. Well, I'm not surprised by that. It's like what Hope Giselle said in the episode we did last week. Fox already got that. Just because they include queer people or these other people in the show or on their program don't necessarily mean they ain't very much like the Tucker Carlsons and all that other stuff behind the scenes. Where how they truly feel about diversity of people and things. So this is a witch hunt on Jussie Smollett. I'm not saying he's innocent because I don't believe he is. I already said what I said in regards of the lie and why he put all this together. That's my theory. Based off the evidence. He wanted to make it, he wanted y'all to wake up and pay attention, and he just concocted this whole cockamamie situation and took it too far. Spending taxpaying dollars, legal fees, all this other stuff, just so he could get y'all to pay attention to him. Now it looks bad on him because now everybody's like, oh, he's a liar and he's this and he's that. His career's done. I don't think his career's done. I think we need to move on from this shit. We should move on from the Will Smith slap. Chris Rock done said what he said is out of the system. We don't need to bring that shit up no more. Now at this point, can we just move on from this stuff? I don't care about the stupid hoax. Jussie done did what he did. Let's move on. Let him go behind the scenes and direct his movies. I like what he did with B-Boy Blues. What is currently on BET Plus. I wish that movie was available I could buy. Because then when hell I'm subscribing to BET Plus just to watch that. I already seen it. From the Black American Film Festival. I believe that's what it was called. American Black Film Festival. So shout out to Jussie because you know what? And at the end of the day, how many Karens have gotten away with lying on black folks and y'all don't got their ass in jail? Except the one recently that I talked about. Where I told y'all she had her face in with the hammer, was trying to put a bunch of men of color in prison, saying she was assaulted. One of them, I heard the guy thought his life was going to be over because they believed this white woman, he was literally going to kill himself. So we got a lot of Karens out here Karening, lying on black men's names, and y'all don't say shit. They don't even get that as much as a citation. But y'all want to come after Jussie because it is famous person who made y'all look like Boo Boo the Fool. And don't get me started on a lot of y'all corrupt police procedures and things going on in Chicago. I know New York ain't innocent, but we ain't the one that had to deal with this shit. Y'all got to deal with that in the Windy City. So shout out to Jussie. Fuck them brothers. I know Jussie, like I said, he ain't innocent in this situation, but this whole witch hunt with this documentary is just stupid and ridiculous. Anyway. So let's get into this Lil Nas X story. So Lil Nas X has issued an apology after he was dragged online over photos where it appeared that he was mocking the trans community, which he wasn't. But here's the thing. So he said, apologies to the trans community. I handled that situation with anger instead of considering why it was not cool. Much love to you guys. Sorry. Now, the explanation came hours after the 23-year-old posted a photo of influencer Glow Princess, whose real name is Armanda Tungi, on, I hope I said her name right, on his social media pages. But he's saying the surgery was a success. Like he had basically insinuating that he had undergone gender reassignment surgery, that he just became a whole woman. I didn't think it was anything bad about it. But he looked good though. I was like, when I looked at the picture, I was like, Nas, did you? Like I knew he didn't get surgery. But this girl literally they do favor each other. She's pretty. Lil Nas X ain't ugly either. I know he got a big old dick. But Lil Nas X is not ugly. Montero, he is not ugly. And neither is she. She's pretty. She actually could be my cousin. She reminds me of my cousin Kenyatta. The complexion, the long hair, the baby hair, all the other stuff. Because she prides herself on being like overly, prettified. So I get it. I was like, it wasn't a big deal or other stuff, but I get why people are upset. Like, simply because we're in a very sensitive time right now where trans people are being attacked in this country via policies that they're trying to roll back, which I think that's where a lot of y'all need to be pushing your energy. Same thing with the whole ballroom argument. I really feel like we need to be focusing on trying to prevent these politicians from these 300 plus bills that they got where they're trying to roll back a lot of rights for the LGBT plus community. So we need to wake up and pay attention, be vigilant with that, and not make this shit a priority. It's stupid. I know Nas at first, and people were trying to tell him that they didn't like the fact that, you know, they were offended by, he said, where they, you know, basically called them out, basically you're making a joke about, you know, LGBT people. He said, I'm literally just saying she looks like me. Y'all can't be effing serious. He even told one person to eat his ass. Y'all don't, you know, don't ask me to do something that I might actually wind up doing, because, you know, some of these girls out here want to eat the booty. Don't threaten me with a good time, sis. Another fan questioned why he had to mention surgery. The rapper replied, because she has titties. Are you dense? After taking some time to cool off, the Montero Lamar Hill issued an apology and deleted his previous tweets. Now, look, Lil Nas X, let's give him some grace. He came out of the closet in 2019. He's someone who stirs up a lot of controversy. He has been pushing the envelope in regards to his music and his art. You know, dealing with a lot of these conservatives who will call him somebody he's a demon and he's a Satan worshiper, and they say all kinds of crazy stuff about him, especially when he did the what was it, the video Call Me By Your Name, Montero. And they're saying that he was promoting gay agendas and demonic visuals. You know, so you know, let's give Nazi some grace and not be so quick to cancel or go in and let have on people. Like I said, focus all that energy on damn legislations and shit. But I get it. We're all in a sensitive time right now. People too goddamn sensitive. Quiet as it's kept. And speaking of which, I know Lil Nas X recently did he did a performance in Chile, Lollapalooza, Chile. He did something. I know he was performing out there, where he previewed his song with Saucy Santana. I heard it's cute. If you want to see the clip, you can basically go over to my website. I posted it there. I also posted the full concert, which is up on YouTube. So if y'all have not seen Lil Nas X's recent performance over at Lollapalooza in Chile, y'all can definitely check it out over on my website, or you can just go on YouTube and look it up. It's there. So shout out to Nazi. I know you didn't mean anything by it. You need to relax. Now, speaking of apologies, Whoopi Goldberg is also apologizing after some people said that she made an offensive slur towards Romanians during Wednesday's episode of The View. Ciao. Now, the whole thing stemmed because they were discussing former president, the orange asshole, you know his name, who about to get thrown in jail pretty soon. The talk show host mentioned how his supporters feel he got gypped in the 2020 presidential election, meaning that they took it away from him. He was supposed to be president, and never happened. They stole the election. So Whoopi did go on the Twitter account and post an apology because people were saying that she was basically using an offensive word. Now, I don't know where this shit was coming from because I didn't even know people was on social media. That's the word. I think, didn't he say that, that's not, we're talking about Whoopi, not Tyra. We'll get to her in a minute. She coming up. Thank you. Let's get my sister something. Let's get Miss Karen Johnson, on the docket. Well, the word on the curb, yeah, that you know who, as Whoopi refers to him. Maybe his fat ass about to be putting handcuffs on Tuesday. Child, I'm here. I'm all for it. I been knew that motherfucker was a con man from the beginning, but I'm from New York, so we been knew the tea. The rest of y'all just now catching up. Some of y'all still in denial. Y'all continue to be in denial, but we knew the tea coming from New York. We knew the scamations. Even Barbara Walters put that shit on blast back in the 90s. Y'all got duped. But anyway. So she put, when you're at a certain age, you use words that you know from when you're a kid or you remember saying, and that's what I did and I shouldn't have. This is what the 67-year-old actress explained. She said, I should have thought about it a little longer before I said it, but I didn't. And I should have said cheated, and I used another word, and I'm really, really sorry. Here's the thing. A lot of times when you're live on TV, you ain't thinking about what's coming out your mouth. And why would you be like, well, I should have thought more about what I was saying? You're not thinking. And also, quiet as it's kept, a lot of us had no idea, including myself, that gypped was referring to gypsies. I had no idea. It's a word that has been used to describe the Ramani people. Now, according to Merriam-Webster, it defines being gypped as being cheated, defrauded, or swindled in notes regarding its etymology. That is probably short for gypsy. For years, some have casually used the word to describe what they've received less than what they paid for, or if they've gotten something stolen. Obviously, gyp doesn't have the best connotation. Here's the thing. Now, there's always truth to a stereotype, correct? And it's always been a known fact that gypsies were kind of known as thieves and this, that, and the third. Hell, Cher has a song called Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. Y'all not mad about that? Isn't that kind of referential to the situation? Now, I'm not saying all gypsies are thieves and this, that, and the third. But there's always been a connotation surrounding that. But I feel like y'all were just bored. Y'all always going after Whoopi Goldberg for saying something. I feel like y'all got it out for her. Y'all trying to get her canceled? Because what was the other thing she said before? The thing about the Jews. Now, here's the thing. What people need to realize, what she said about that, I had heard stuff like that too. Because these are conversations that go on in the community about certain things. And instead of canceling, let's offer people grace to live and learn from their stuff. And I think a lot of the conservatives are the ones who's bitching about it, because I ain't know no people from Romania who came out and spoke about this, unless a lot of y'all are Trump supporters and conservatives. So y'all be hate watching The View, looking for a reason to come after this woman. So any little thing she says is a problem. What she said about the Jews, which, thinking back on it, I was like, girl, but at the same time, these are conversations that are in the Black community. Same thing with gyp. Gyp is a word that has been used in Black culture as a slang term. Oh, you gypped me. I've used that word growing up. I haven't used it recently. That word didn't even cross my mind. But the word gyp is an old term that we use in our community. And people need to also realize is that words have double meanings in certain situations. So a word that maybe uses a slur to you is not a slur to us. Or we take words and we turn it into something else, or we use words in different things. So what it means to you, what a word may mean to you, may not mean the same to us. And y'all love going after people of color when it comes to these things. So there's bigger fish to fry, in my opinion, that we need to be more concerned about and stuff. Instead of y'all just come down here BSing about a damn word that y'all want to talk about as offensive. Because I don't know no damn, where the gypsies at? Only time I seen gypsies in anything was the season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. A gypsy went and turned Angel into took his soul, a vampire with a soul. That's the only thing I know about the gypsies. And like I said, gypsy, tramps, and thieves with Cher. So I'm glad, Whoopi did her little apology thing, because ABC's always forced people to apologize for some bullshit. And that's not what she meant. Y'all know damn well she was not going in and being shady towards the Romani people. Y'all know exactly why she said what she said, but y'all want to be out here and distract from the real stuff going on. Politicians are trying to take away the rights of people who aren't white, male, and hetero goddamn sexual in this country. That's what we need to be focused on, not the fact that somebody said a word that you didn't like hearing on national television. We getting too sensitive. Talking about words hurt. That was still a line from Chris Rock's show last week where he's like, y'all talking about words hurt, words hurt. Well, clearly your ass ain't never been punched. That shit hurt. A word, like somebody says something that'll sting a little bit, but it's not that bad. I just feel like y'all just be looking for a reason to be angry. And I feel like that's a dopamine fix a lot too. Like y'all just be, everybody so damn angry. Everybody got a lot of shit. Like y'all just mad about everything. Like the thing with Ciara. Then people getting mad because Ashanti posted pictures of herself on vacation. Oh, how you 40 years old with no man and no kids? You just vacate because the bitch earned it. That's fucking why. Why are you mad? Because y'all got to work and you can't take a vacation. The girl has earned the right to do whatever she want to do. I just wish people just mind the business that paid them and stop trying to come in and just nitpick and be mad about it. And I really feel like it's a dopamine fix. Like y'all get off on just being angry. Well, if that's the only way y'all can get off in an orgasmic way, you know what's going to end up happening? You're going to end up with stress. You're going to end up with Bell's palsy or having a damn stroke. That's what's going to happen. Being upset all the damn time about stuff. Relax. Okay, let's get into this final topic, child, because y'all working my root canal nerve. Okay, so Tyra Banks is moving off of Dancing with the Stars. I know a lot of people was happy about this. So according to TV Line, Banks broke the news to, herself in a TMZ interview on Friday, which, yeah, I was going to say yesterday, but now we're into Sunday. Stating that she plans to devote more time to her business ventures, including her ice cream company, Smize and Dream. I heard that ice cream is nasty, though. I haven't tried it. I know some people who, you know, I tell you, I got eyes and ears everywhere. And people slip into the, the comments and the DMs and things, and they tell me stuff. They say her ice cream is nasty. I don't know. If I happen to run into it, I'll give it a try. Wherever they sell it. I don't think they'll be selling it at the Baskin-Robbins / Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, wait. I heard that they changed the name. That it's not called Dunkin' Donuts anymore. That now it's called Dunkin'. Because now Dunkin' Donuts, the artist formerly known as Dunkin' Donuts, sells more than just donuts. So they're like Starbucks. Like they sell every damn thing now. I don't know. I haven't been in a Dunkin' Donuts in a minute. And I literally live next door to one. But I don't eat the Dunkin' Donuts. I don't eat the donuts. I don't eat the munchkins. I don't drink the coffee. I make my own coffee and I drink it black. Because, I'm on this health kick now. Like, summer's coming. I got to watch what I eat. I've been, hibernating. I've been going to the gym like crazy for the past month. And I've been watching my portions. Because, bitch, I'm about to be in a crop top this summer and some booty shorts. Not the ones Wendy Williams be wearing. I'll be wearing like the Hoochie Daddy shorts. Yeah, them shits is seasonal. That wasn't just a 2022 thing. They'll be making a comeback in 2023. So anyway, she said, I'm really focused on business, like crazy focused on business. That's what Banks said. I feel it's time for me to focus on my business and entrepreneurship, but also producing more TV, but behind the scenes. I think it's time to graduate from the dance floor to the stock market floor. Now, when asked to confirm if she was indeed departing Dance with the Stars, Banks added, I think it's time. Don't you think it's time? Yeah, I think it's time. I really want to focus on my business, and you can't do that hosting the show. You'll see me creating things, not just hosting things. Banks, as you know, took over Dancing with the Stars as a sole host on September 2020 after Tom Bergeron and Erin Andrews were abruptly fired from the series early in that summer. At the time, executive producer Andrew Linares, who later departed Dancing with the Stars of season 31, called the hosting shakeup a necessary evolution for the show. But the question is people watching? That's what I want to know. I don't know. What are the ratings? Because now it's over on... Damn, production said they live across the street from a Dunkin'. They don't drink that shit. I know y'all go to Starbucks because we had that conversation. We Starbucks girls. We don't do no damn Dunkin' Donuts. First of all, that coffee makes me want to shit every time I drink it. I know that's TMI. I get the bubble guts every time I drink it. It does not agree with my stomach. I think because the beans is cheap. Starbucks beans is way better, but I think it's just because the beans. Well, and from what I heard, because my roommate used to work at Starbucks way back in the day. Said the beans is they burn them beans sometimes. He gave me a little inside tea on what they be doing. That's not what we here to talk about. I don't know. I just got sidetracked. But anyway, so back to this. There she goes. Any show that has been on like this for many, many seasons need to continue to evolve. That's what Lanier said during Banks' first season as host. It was about making the show feel fresh, feel new, maybe make it reach out to a new audience while also not alienating anyone who's been watching the show for many, many years. But from what we know is that people did not like that Tyra was hosting the show. There was I remember a lot of people was complaining about Tyra on the show. People was complaining about the outfits. They didn't like how she was flubbing the line. She was messing up things on the show. But it's live, or maybe she was being sabotaged. I don't know. Like, Tyra hosted America's Next Top Model for 22 damn cycles. So, but maybe live TV is different from previously recorded. Like, when they do RuPaul's Drag Race, they'll shoot it over the summer and then we get it the following year in January. So maybe that's what happened. A lot of people can't do scripted versus, live or whatever. I could do both. This is a live show, so I just talk. But I have a little script as well. So I know that Dance with the Stars on Disney Plus. I don't know what the numbers were for last season. I did watch the first episode of season 31? I think that's what it was. And then they brought on Alfonso Ribeiro. Me personally, I think maybe they should just have Alfonso do it. America loves Alfonso Ribeiro. They loved him on not Dance with the Stars. Well, I guess y'all, I don't know if y'all loved him or not. Let me know in the comments. If y'all thought he was a good addition, they'll give him more to do. Y'all love them America's Funniest Home Videos, but anybody, well, not anybody, because that show was so corny to me. But he fit in with that. We loved him as Carlton on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Maybe y'all could just let him host this and then just get like a new female, an Erin Andrews type that y'all could stick up in the balcony to talk to the celebrities who's going to come on. I don't know necessarily what the numbers, were for it being on Disney Plus, because I don't know if they released those numbers. Sidebar, I did hear Mandalorian's not doing well this season with the ratings. That show could be in trouble. But I don't know what the numbers are, how the numbers have been doing with Dance with the Stars. So I am curious. But with Tyra leaving, I'm sure a lot of people are happy. We'll see where they go direction-wise. But I do feel like y'all need to promote Alfonso to the Tom Bergeron role as the top big host, or maybe leave him, as the host of everything. He can talk to them, where the judges judge them. Think Lynn Goodman's gone, so I guess now they'll have Julianne Hugh's brother Derek as the replacement, and then you got they can judge the judges say all the stuff they say to get the score. Alfonso can talk to them, ask them little interview stuff, this, that, and the third, and then carry them off to do whatever. Unless y'all need to still continue that format, they'll figure it out. Whatever. It all depends on who's on it. But anyway, like I said, I didn't watch last season. I only watched the first episode on Disney Plus, but I did watch all the Shangela clips of her performance on Instagram, because she was always posted it, and her partner Gleb was posted on there also. And I watched Vinny's and a couple of others that I cared about. I wasn't sitting through that long ass show. I just couldn't do it. But anyway, we are done with today's show. I want to thank you all for watching. Till the next week for a brand new episode of The Rundown. I almost forgot what show I'm doing. It's getting late, child. But anyway, so thank you all for watching. Thank you all for those, like I said before, who subscribe. Continue to follow. Click like, subscribe, all the good stuff down below. And let me know what you think of a lot of the topics in the comments. And, like I said, I got my Tony Cannoli interview coming. I got more topics to discuss next week. Don't know what it is because it hasn't happened yet. This is live. Love you all for watching. Love you all for everything that you do. And thank you all for supporting me. And until next time, ciao, darlings. My pageantry way.